My name's Jeff Sale. I've been at SDSC for a little over 15 years, and I've focused on several different areas, some research, some user training. I do have a background in instructional design and education technology, so I've worked with our user training program and our K-12 education and outreach programs. I do have a master's in learning design technology, which I bring to bear on that particular area. But I went into partial retirement a year ago, and I'm just focused on research now, which is why I'm serving as an REHS mentor. And my research focus has been data visualization. I serve as a visualization consultant for Exceed's Extended Collaborative Support Services. And that's really my first love. I love getting a complex data set and trying to imagine what it might look like visually. And so the research that I'm working on right now is we're looking at electric and magnetic brain data of subjects who have been sleeping. So that's a really fascinating data set. And the magnetic data is the first of its kind, to our knowledge, of magnetic data collection for subjects who are sleeping. And the data was collected about 20 years ago. So since then, there may have been other studies. I have been part of the REHS program for since its inception, actually, I think 12 years ago, something like that. I've worked closely with Ange Mason for many years. I love working with Ange. She is constantly developing new and better programs for K-12 outreach. And this is one of her best. I think the opportunities that high school students have through this program, thanks to a lot of the great mentors who have volunteered their time, students come out with just great experience. They go on to some of the best colleges in the country. And it's a real thrill for me. But I encourage my students to have had programming skills coming into the internships, which isn't, I don't imagine that should be a big surprise because it is a computational science program and programming is really, really important. But computational science involves three different areas. One is computer science. The other one would be a science or humanities discipline, and then math. You also need quite a bit of math background. But my students focus on visualization, which in some ways is still an afterthought among researchers. Sometimes it's hard to convince a researcher of the value of visualization. And one of my favorite things to do is just take a data set that hasn't really been explored yet, develop some visualizations so the researchers can look at them and get ideas for what to drill down and examine further, things that won't have even occurred to them if they haven't seen the data set yet. And I'm having pretty good success with that in this latest research project. The principal investigator, has this new data set of magnetic brain data during sleep, and we really don't know what to look for. It's kind of brand new, so it's been a lot of fun in that regard. Students should come into these internships with a real open mind and expect to take initiative. Almost without exception, every summer, I have at least one of my students who just sort of are natural at coming up with new ideas and suggesting them. A lot of high school students are a little reluctant to do that, but I really look forward to hearing what students have to say about what they're learning. And most of the experience really is just a learning experience. My students aren't really expected to, do any kind of incredible novel research, but every now and then it happens. And that's one of my favorite things about the program. There is an area of science called chaos theory, nonlinear dynamics. It includes the concept of the butterfly effect, where, tiny perturbations in a complex system can cause radical changes with only a few iterations, like a butterfly wing on one side of the planet affecting a hurricane on the other side of the planet. So I look at these internships as that sort of thing, where the students are, butterfly wings, just ready to have small impacts make radical changes in the long run when they go off to college. and that sort of thing. So I love that concept as it applies to these internships.